Hi everyone, welcome to JurisQuestHub, where jurisprudence breathes and blooms. Here we explore the fascinating world of jurisprudence, uncovering the principles, values, and ideas that shape legal systems and impact our lives. Whether you are a student, a legal professional, or simply curious about how law connects to justice, morality, economics, politics, and society, this channel offers clear, insightful discussions designed to deepen your understanding and spark your passion for legal theory. Join us as we rediscover the beauty of legal thought and the backbone of legal practice, break down complex ideas, and explore how law truly serves human dignity and justice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more episodes as we journey through the evolving world of legal thought, because understanding law starts with asking the right questions. Why jurisprudence anyway? I've always been drawn to jurisprudence because it helps me make sense of the why behind the law, not just the what. I remember early in my legal career, I was handling a contract dispute, and at first, I was just focused on the technical terms. But the more I dug in, the more I realized it wasn't just about paperwork. It was about understanding the rights and duties of the people involved. And that got me thinking, what really makes these laws stick? Why do we consider some laws fair and others not? Then, along the practice, I came along criminal cases where punishment wasn't just about revenge, it was about deterrence and protecting society. And it made me realize that the law isn't just a set of strict rules, but a living system connected to bigger ideas like justice and morality. Jurisprudence helped me appreciate this connection. In Kenya, we see how the law impacts people in everyday undertakings, whether it's in land disputes, in social justice issues, in the economic struggle, and sometimes the law feels distant. But jurisprudence reminds us that the law is meant to protect human dignity and actually adapt to real life challenges. And through these episodes, I want to understand and also learn and share how legal theory shapes laws so that I and you can also make a contribution to a fairer and a just system. What's exciting is that jurisprudence isn't black and white. There's descriptive theory, which explains how laws come to be, and normative theory, which tends to focus on how laws should be. And then we also have critical theory that challenges the whole understanding of law by pointing out how power and politics influence the law. And this complexity makes jurisprudence interesting because it points out to the fact that the law isn't just about rules, it's about society, it's about power, it's about politics, it's about values. In this episode, I'd like to introduce jurisprudence, which we will also refer to as legal theory, as a vital foundation for understanding the law. In this episode, we'll explore how jurisprudence gives meaning to legal practice by examining the nature, the purpose, and moral dimensions of the law, including questions like, what is the law? Why does the law exist? And its relationship to justice and morality. The key ideas are basically that jurisprudence helps to examine and critique legal systems and principles across different areas of the law, among them contract, tort law, criminal law, by incorporating concepts such as rights, compensation, and punishment. In essence, legal theory influences how law interacts with the social, political, and economic life. And what stands out for me is that jurisprudence is essential for developing laws that uphold legal dignity. And the main objective is to help us all rediscover the beauty of judgment, often so overlooked. Yet its fundamentals are essential to understanding the principles that inform the practice of law, as well as the ideas that shape the law. Jurisprudence often seeks to help us reason about the fundamentals of the law, including what makes the law, its purpose, its validity, its intricate relation to the ideals of justice and morality, as well as the duty to obey the law. Although silent, jurisprudence provides underlying principles for the practice of law. For example, in the context of contracts, which requires an appreciation for the concepts of rights and duties, the law of tort, which requires economic principles of compensation, and criminal law, which requires a minimal understanding of the theories of punishment as a means of deterrence. Jurisprudence therefore permits all this and is integral to the study of law and legal systems. However, beyond understanding the function of law or having a discourse on legal theories and their application to a legal system, we seek to appreciate the richness, diversity, and evolving nature of jurisprudence, which forms a good foundation and a tool for reasoning, analysis, application of economic realities, and the formulation of law that is alive to the social, economic well-being of the human person. And the law for me is one among many means to protect, promote, and constantly realign the social, economic realities to the dignity of the human person. I beg your pardon. As a starting point, the law can be viewed in terms of descriptive theory, normative legal theory, or critical legal theory. Descriptive legal theory seeks to explain what the law is, the reason for its formulation, and the outcomes of its existence. Normative legal theory, on the other hand, focuses on what the law ought to be. The two can be differentiated as descriptive theory focuses on facts, while normative legal theory focuses on values. There's a tendency for descriptive legal theory to appear to provide a legal doctrine. For example, in the case of freedom of expression, it is often justified by courts' decisions because of the limits of free speech. It may also be explanatory in an attempt to explain why the law exists. For example, the Marxist legal theory provides the possibility of the law as expressed in the interest of the ruling class. So descriptive theory shows outcomes from laws, which are often exemplified, for example, in the case of economic analysis and probable behavioral effects of, for example, the case of strict liability in the case of manufacturers. The normative legal theory approach, on the other hand, is concerned with values. For example, it will seek to establish whether strict liability ought to be adopted as a measure to protect consumers. Normative legal theories approaches tend to be associated with moral and political theories and therefore require thought into whether the establishment of rules will create a good legal system if it was politically achievable. They also delve into the extent of enforceability of such rules as a way of balancing morality and political realities of a society. However, just like many life facets, the two approaches and theories tend to overlap. For example, a normative theory may rely on a descriptive theory, which justifies a law due to the consequences, and a descriptive theory may affect a normative theory due to predictions of the likelihood of success of a given set of rules. The third approach, the critical legal theory, on its part, has a fluid view of the law as inseparable from politics, and therefore an indeterminate, coherent body of rules and doctrine. The argument is therefore there is no universal foundation of law based on reason, and therefore the law is not rationally neutral or objective. The law is essentially an expression of political and economic power. In the face of ever-growing capitalism and disparities between the rich and poor, as well as a quest for justice and fairness, efforts of academic discourse may sometimes seem futile and overwhelming with no tangible immediate result. However, it is my deep hope that we can conclude every so often that rational argument and the sense of good and bad can coexist. This is useful in not settling for simplification and rhetoric in the discourse of the nature and the function of the law. Analytical clarity remains fundamental in understanding concepts of law and justice. Jurisprudence or legal theory is central to defining, shaping, and safeguarding the values that underpin society. These are worth all the effort jurisprudence asks for. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to JurisQuestHub, where jurisprudence breathes and blooms. Here, we explore the fascinating world of jurisprudence, uncovering the principles, values, and ideas that shape legal systems and impact our